Naughty Dog has been on an absolute roll with the new projects lately, since Uncharted 4 has been committed as one of the best endings to a long-running franchise, and The Last of Us Part 2 winning not one, not two, but a total of 261 awards. Not only is this an insane number of awards in general, it's actually a new world record for the most awards won by a single video game. With a long history of great games preceding them and several plans already on the table, Naughty Dog has a very bright future ahead of itself. But what can they do as their next projects, and what do the fans think they should be doing next? Let's thoroughly analyze what we currently know and discover the answer. Joining us for this video, we've got...
Hey there, I'm Azalea22 and I am a content creator / streamer. Stream every week on YouTube, also stream on Twitch. I stream a lot of Nintendo content, but I also do everything else as well. And I have absolutely loved gaming for my whole life. Tried to keep it family friendly. But yeah, thank you for having me, Cybercom. Awesome to be a part of this cool club.
Now, before we jump into theories, let's talk about what Naughty Dog has confirmed so far themselves. Co-president of the company, Neil Druckmann, recently teased a new project, which we currently have no details on. First, it was tweeted that, if you tweeted me asking about a future project, I can't say anything, please stay patient. We have several cool things we can't wait to share with you. As soon as we can, we will. And then in another tweet, the only thing that he said was that they were working on something very cool, and he used this opportunity to post job listings for the company, which includes a very long list of things such as an AI programmer, gameplay animator, character concept artist, and much more. The need for this workforce certainly hints at two things. They intend to make multiple new games, and that the new project is very ambitious. So that's one single player game in development, and that we will most likely be given details on soon. An important thing to note here is that the industry insiders believe that is completely unrelated to the potential faction spin-off that is in development for The Last of Us Part 2, as it was promised to be introduced to the public soon after the release of the main game. That is because, unlike the first The Last of Us Part 2, was not released with multiplayer functionalities and serves solely as a single-player game at the moment. These two projects aren't the only thing that Naughty Dog is cooking at the moment. As according to reports from Bloomberg, which happens to be a plausible source, Naughty Dog is currently developing a complete remake of the first The Last of Us game. The report claims that the remake was first pitched by Sony's Visual Arts Service Group, but they were not entrusted with the development of such an important IP, and instead, Naughty Dog is the one handling the project in the end. So to sum it all up, Naughty Dog has 3 games in development at the moment. An unknown single-player game, a multiplayer spin-off for The Last of Us Part 2, and a full PlayStation 5 remake of the first The Last of Us game. Now that we have the official information out of the way, let's talk about what Naughty Dog could and should be doing for the future projects. Naughty Dog has a long history of developing successful video game franchises. They have created and have the rights to popular series such as Jak and Daxter, The Last of Us, and Uncharted, all of which have been a favorite for the video game industry. Uncharted 4 ended on a very high note, and its female-led spin-off was met with critical and financial success too. While fans wanted more games in the franchise, the company continued to insist that the 4th game was truly the last one. However, according to the aforementioned Bloomberg report, there's a high chance that the mystery game in development at the moment might be another entry in the Uncharted franchise. Sure, the 4th game might have been the last one, but the video game industry is not a stranger of seeing franchises come back from the dead, especially if Sony is involved in the publishing part of things. Take God of War for example. The franchise ended at the 3rd game and had a very conclusive storyline. However, Sony revived the series again with a complete overhaul, and we are already on the path to seeing another sequel to it in the new generation of Sony's console. So Uncharted coming back for a 5th game or another spin-off will not be a surprise in any way. On the other hand, we can easily disregard a franchise like Jak and Daxter making a return anytime soon, because their first Last of Us being remake right after Demon's Souls is teaching us anything, it's that Sony is not in the mood of taking too many risks right now. They're going for titles that are sure to sell before they're even made. And a franchise lost in time such as Jak and Daxter is just not part of that lineup. On the other hand, we have Crash, but Naughty Dog has sold the rights to the franchise a long time ago, which is why the recent Crash 4 had nothing to do with them or Sony. Ultimately, this just leaves us with Uncharted and The Last of Us at the end of the day. Look, we can surely bet that the third The Last of Us will be made sooner or later, but it will certainly be in the second half of the console's life cycle since it's a very major title that needs to come out at the right time. Not to mention that we're getting a remake of the first game right after people enjoyed the sequel. So having a third game drop in so quickly will surely tire fans out. So in the end, the only thing Naughty Dog can do for now is to focus on The Last of Us remake and the Factions spin-off, while it's most likely considering a new Uncharted game 2 on the sidelines. And last but not least, there's always the possibility that they could be making a new game too, because it's always a good idea to expand, and Sony is certainly in need of some fresh faces since most of the franchises has been going on for well over a decade.
I did not even realize that Naughty Dog lost the rights for Crash Bandicoot. I, enjoyed Crash Bandicoot way back when I was younger. I haven't played it for a while here, and, I need to play some more Naughty Dog games as well and catch up on them because the last ones I played were on the PlayStation 3, so I'm looking forward to playing the ones that just came out. But I think some really cool games that they could go with. I don't know if it's possible they could ever get Crash Bandicoot back. It would be cool to see their spin on that again, I think. I don't know if this would ever be a thing, but maybe it could be cool if they did like a crossover with some of their games. Like maybe, Last of Us and Uncharted. They combine both worlds into one game somehow. I think that could be very interesting. Another thing is Crash Bandicoot and Jak and Daxter. Unfortunately, as you had mentioned earlier, they lost the rights to Crash Bandicoot. That may actually be interesting to see a combination of Jak and Daxter with Crash Bandicoot. So probably it won't happen at this point because of them not having the rights to Crash Bandicoot, but I think that could be very interesting. And, Jak and Daxter is actually not a game series I got into overly much. I was more into Ratchet and Clank, actually. But Jak and Daxter was still fun. I think if they were to bring back Jak and Daxter, I would like to see, just like a whole bunch of changes, a whole new feel for it. That could be cool. And as far as like Uncharted and more Last of Us games, I'm definitely all for that. I totally enjoyed what I have played of it so far. I don't think they can go wrong with that decision to have more of either one. I don't know if I would be interested in a Last of Us remake, honestly. I'm not the kind of person who will replay a game a whole bunch of times exactly, because there's so many games that I have to get to, unless it's just like one of my absolute top 3 games of all time, maybe. But even then, I just have such a long list of games to get to, and I feel plenty satisfied with playing Last of Us, the first one, on the PlayStation 3. I didn't even play the remastered one even. And, they already had a remastered one, so I don't really think I would be, I don't think I would be doing the Last of Us remake. I think it's awesome when they remake good games, gives other people an opportunity to experience it in a better light. But for me, probably wouldn't be playing it.
So we've talked about what Naughty Dog is up to and what they could be doing for the near future. Now let's take a moment to talk about what the fans want right now. The first and most interesting thing to discuss is the fact that, as mentioned, remaking The Last of Us is certainly a more profitable move than taking a risk with reviving a franchise like Jak and Daxter, but that's the opposite of what fans want at the moment, as this game already received a remaster and people don't consider it something that has not aged well with time. A lot of fans of Sony are raising their concern at the company's new focus on only funding extremely safe projects, such as another remake right after Demon's Souls, rather than a new IP or reviving an old one. According to rumors, Days Gone 2 was pitched to Sony and was rejected too for the moment, which came as a shock to many people since despite the game's poor reception, it had developed a decent fan following on the platform. Jak and Daxter may not be incredibly popular today, but it was a game that acted as Sony's 3D platformer in the PlayStation 2 era, which allowed the console to battle with other platformers at the time, such as the Nintendo GameCube. While that slot is currently filled with Ratchet and Clank, fans still want to see their other favorite duo make a comeback, as the game was extremely unique and had an atmosphere like no other game offered, especially since it had a darker tone in comparison to Ratchet and Clank. Since Jak and Daxter has not received a new game in so long, it's certainly safe to say that not many people would be interested in seeing a new numbered entry right away. So just like Ratchet and Clank, it would certainly need a reboot that allows new players to get into the franchise. Funnily enough, That would be a repeat of history as the two games will again compete against each other. With all these facts in place, it just doesn't make sense for Sony to fund a revival of Jak and Daxter at the moment, but it is possible that it might happen sometime down the line thanks to the fan demands. Whether The Last of Us remake is seen as justified or not by the fans depends entirely on the quality and content we will receive. So that's something that only time will tell. Lastly, the new Uncharted game is actually something fans has been impatiently asking the studio for. There are far more voices willing to see more adventures of Nathan Drake and his allies rather than those who fear that reviving the franchise might affect its quality. And looking at the rumors at the moment, Sony is certainly taking notice.
I would personally love to see more games from them, like whole new games. I think would be really awesome. I'm not sure the direction that I would want with that right now, but I think it's always cool, especially when game companies just create these games out of nowhere that are completely different. It's just always awesome to explore a whole new world, whole new characters. I think that would be awesome. I don't know what direction I would want, what kind of game I would want, but just, something that they would just put their heart into and focus on. Last of Us, Uncharted, amazing games. So if they can do something on those levels of awesome, I would be totally interested in that. That'd be just amazing.
There's gotta be another way. I need you on this one.
Ultimately, I think more Last of Us, more Uncharted would be amazing. Jak and Daxter, I think, could be awesome. I didn't quite get into the series a whole lot, so if they did have more of that, a remake that was like just a very different remake, a whole new game, those would be wins, having more of those. But I also like the idea of having a whole new series, a whole new, just a new game. I think would be pretty cool. Naughty Dog has done an amazing job with those series, and Jak and Daxter, it's been a while, and even though I wasn't into it as much as maybe some people were, I still think, they did a great job with it as well. And I would love to see more from them. I would love to see more creativity and different things that they could possibly have to show us. So definitely excited to see whatever the future will hold for whatever Naughty Dog decides to have out. I think it's going to be awesome, and I definitely look forward to it.
Whether Naughty Dog's about to make a new IP or focus on what they already have at the moment, they seem to be on the right path of continued success and are one of the most important studios working under Sony right now. We're all excited to see where this goes and sincerely hope that one day we'll be able to see Jak and Daxter pop up on a Sony announcement. Since they have so many things on the table though, it's no surprise that they need more people to join the company at the moment. So that's everything from us. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think Naughty Dog should or could be doing next and what you would personally like to see. Also, please consider heading over and checking out Azalea22. We'll link all the channel deets below.
Thank you, Cybercom, again for having me join you for this awesome collab. It was great being able to give some thoughts for Naughty Dog's future potential games. I look forward to whatever their games are going to be in the future. It'll be awesome. Azalea22 here again, and I do Let's Plays. Lately, I've been doing a lot of live streams every week on YouTube, also on Twitch. Lots of Nintendo content is what you'll see me cover, but I do everything else. I love all gaming, and you can find me on different social media sites like Instagram, Twitter, and Discord. So thank you again, Cybercom, and thank you guys for watching.
So if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification for future updates and uploads. And until next time, see ya.